All right, let's talk about a huge decision for anyone trying to get out from under high-interest debt. SoFi or Upstart? This is way more than just picking a lender. You're actually choosing a whole philosophy for how you handle your money. So let's get into it. Let's just put you right in the situation. Picture this. You've got $18,000 in credit card debt hanging over your head. The path out, based on our research into 2026 trends, really comes down to one question. Are you going to trust a big established bank that's trying to be modern, or are you going to trust a powerful AI algorithm that's built to see you differently? And this choice isn't just, theoretical. It has real consequences. In our research, we found that for a pretty standard 3-year loan, picking the wrong lender for your specific situation could cost you an extra $2,156. That's money that should be in your pocket, not going to extra fees and interest. Look, nobody in this position needs another lecture about budgeting. What you need is a plan. A clear, straightforward, mathematical exit ramp to get you out of this. And that's exactly what we're going to map out today. So, the reason this choice is so important is that SoFi and Upstart are not just selling the same thing in a different package. No, they have two completely different ways of looking at you, your history, and your potential. Here's probably the best way to think about it. SoFi is like the shield. It's established, it's protective, and it wants to pull you into its safe ecosystem. Upstart? That's the neural network. It's the disruptive new tech that's designed to find value and potential where the old systems just see a blank space. So let's break down SoFi's game plan first. Our research shows they're really looking for what you might call the reliable professional. They want to see a credit score of 680 or higher generally. See, their goal isn't just to give you a one-time loan. They want to make you a member for life and have you do all your banking, investing, the whole shebang with them. Now, Upstart. Upstart is playing a totally different sport. Its AI looks at over 1,000 different data points that go way beyond your FICO score. It's looking at where you went to school, what you studied, your job history. It's trying to predict your future, not just judge your past. And that's exactly why they're able to approve people with thin credit files that a traditional bank wouldn't even look at twice. Okay, both of these companies have these beautiful, slick apps that make getting a loan feel as easy as ordering a pizza. But this is where we have to talk about something I call the lollipop trap. It looks really sweet on the outside, but it can have a pretty nasty surprise inside. And that surprise has a name, the origination fee. So what on earth is an origination fee? Well, it's a fee they charge you just for processing the loan. But the most important word here is subtracts. They take this fee right off the top before you ever see a dime. Let's run through a quick example so you can see what I mean. Let's say you need exactly $20,000 to pay off all your credit cards. You apply, you get approved. Great. But then, in the scenario from our research, Upstart charges a 6% origination fee. On a $20,000 loan, that's $1,200 that just, poof, vanishes. So the money that actually hits your bank account isn't the 20 grand you needed. It's $18,800. You're already starting from behind. And here is the absolute craziest part of the trap. Even though you only got $18,800, your payments, your interest, all of it, it's calculated on the full $20,000. You are literally paying interest on money that you never, ever touched. Let's put some hard numbers on this from our 2026 research. You can see it right here. SoFi? Generally, 0 origination fees. Upstart? Theirs can go all the way up to 12%. Now, yeah, Upstart's starting APR might look a little lower, but once you factor in that fee, the total cost of the loan can shoot way, way up. A loan isn't just about numbers. It's a relationship you're in for years. So what happens when life does what it always does and gets messy? This is where SoFi's traditional bank DNA really comes through. They have this famous unemployment protection program. If you lose your job, and it's not your fault, they might actually pause your payments. And they even offer things like career coaching to help you get back on your feet. It's a real safety net. Upstart's approach is, well, it's a lot more direct. It's transactional, not relational. They'll give you the hardship options the law requires, sure, but that's pretty much it. You're choosing them for the power of their algorithm, but you have to remember, an algorithm isn't exactly built for empathy. So after all this, the goal isn't to say one is good and one is bad. The goal is to find your strategic fit. So let's break this down into 2 clear profiles, what we'll call scenario prime and scenario potential.
Okay, so you're probably in scenario prime if your credit score is pretty solid. Think 680 or higher. You're the kind of person who actually likes the idea of member benefits and having one place for all your finances. And most importantly, you absolutely do not want to pay an origination fee. If that's you, SoFi is likely your best bet.
But what if you're in scenario potential? Maybe you just got a great new job with a high income, but because you don't have a long credit history, the big banks keep saying no. For you, Upstart could be a total game changer. In this situation, the number one goal is just getting approved so you can consolidate that debt. And paying a fee for that access, that might be a trade-off you're willing to make. Okay, we've gone through the philosophies, the fees, the scenarios, the whole thing. Now, let's turn all this information into a real plan you can actually start using this week.
Here it is, your 7-day plan. Day 1, you just check your score. Day 2, you run the soft pull race. Go to both websites and check your rates. It won't affect your score. Day 3, this one's critical. Do the math and figure out what Upstart's actual net deposit will be after their fee. Day 4, you look at SoFi's other perks. And then days 5, 6, and 7 are for thinking it over, making the final call, and pulling the trigger. Look, the biggest thing to take away from all of this is that you have options. Your debt is not a prison sentence, it's a math problem. And that problem has a solution. It has an exit. The only question you have to answer now is, which door are you going to open?